Start with what you have. It's more than enough. Let me tell you something real loud. If you're waiting until everything is perfect before you take that first step, you'll be waiting forever. Some of y'all sitting on your dreams because you think you need more money, more support, more connections, more experience. But let me give it to you straight. You've already got enough to get started. If you're sitting around waiting for the stars to align before you chase your dream, let me give you a reality check, OGB. Perfect conditions don't exist, boo. There will never be a day when everything feels just right. There will always be something missing. Money, support, confidence, time, experience. That's life. If you let those things stop you, you'll look up one day and realize you spent your whole life waiting instead of living. The truth is, you don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start. We've been taught to prepare, plan, research, analyze, and yes, preparation matters. But some of all are stuck in permanent preparation mode. You keep saying, once I save up enough, or once I feel ready, or once I have a little more experience, and the next thing you know, 5 years go by, and you're still on pause. You've convinced yourself that you're not ready, but you're more ready than you think. Most of the people who made something out of their lives didn't start when everything was right. They started when everything was wrong, but they had no choice but to move anyway. You want to know the real secret? Life respects action, not intention, not excuses, not waiting for the right time. Action, motion, movement. That's when doors start opening. That's when people start showing up to help. That's when resources begin to appear. But none of that happens until you take that uncomfortable, uncertain, imperfect first step. It's not the big leap that changes your life. It's the decision to stop standing still. Look around at what's in your hands. You've got something. It might not look like much, but it's a seed. And a seed doesn't look like a tree, but give it time and it becomes something you never imagined. That idea in your heart, that vision you can't shake, that dream you think about late at night, it's there for a reason. And it doesn't need perfection. It needs permission from you. Nobody who ever accomplished something waited until they were completely confident. They were scared. They were broke. They were unsure. But they started anyway. And that's what you've got to do. Don't overthink it. Don't try to get approval from everyone around you. Don't waste time waiting for someone to tell you're good enough. You are. The fact that the dream was placed inside you means you've got what it takes to bring it to life. You just have to move. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to stumble. Yes, you might fail. But failure isn't the enemy. Standing still is. At least if you fail, you're moving. You're learning. You're growing. But if you never even try, you stay stuck in the same place with the same excuses, wondering why nothing changes. So let this be your sign. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop talking yourself out of the very thing that could change your life. Forget perfect. Perfect never built anything. A faith did, ooh, grit did, ooh, courage. You've already got enough to begin. And that's all you need. Start now. Start today. And don't look back. You keep thinking you need something more. A better camera, a new laptop, a platform, 1 million followers. But let me tell you something real. What's already in your hands is enough. That phone you're holding, that voice inside of you, that story you've lived, that pain you've endured, all of that. That's your power. You keep looking at what you don't have, and that's the problem. You're so focused on what's missing that you can't even see what's already been given to you. You think starting small means starting weak. You think basic means broken. But that's a lie. Some of the biggest empires in the world started on somebody's couch, in a garage, or in a tiny room with nothing but a dream and a cheap phone. It ain't about what you've got. It's about what you do with what you got. You think the people who made it had some big secret? No. They had the same doubts, the same fear, the same small beginnings. The difference is they worked with what they had right where they were. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for perfect tools. They didn't wait for a round of applause. They showed up with a shaky voice, a cracked phone screen, and an unpolished idea. And they gave it everything they had. Look at you, waiting to get the newest camera before you start creating. Waiting to have the perfect website before you start selling. Waiting to have the support of people who probably won't support you until they see you winning. Let me tell you something. If you're not willing to show up with your little, you don't deserve the lot. Because it's the way you treat the little that qualifies you for more. You've got a gift. You've got a voice. You've got your story. That alone makes you unstoppable. If you stop waiting and start using it, and here's what's wild. When you take that step with what you've got, you realize that what you had was always enough. You just had to activate it. You just had to trust that it was valuable. God doesn't need you to have it all together. He just needs you to use what's already in your hands. Don't let your dream die in the waiting room of perfection. You've got everything you need to get started. Right here, right now. So go do something with it. Build with it. Speak with it. Serve with it. Start messy. Start unsure. But just start. Because what's already in your hands, it's more than enough. People love to celebrate success. The awards, the wealth, the shine, the stage. But what they don't talk about is how it started. Most folks you admire, they didn't begin with a bankroll or a blueprint. They began with a broken heart, a busted dream, or a back against the wall. They had nothing but belief in a decision. They moved not because they had it all. They moved because they had nothing to lose. See, somewhere along the line, you've been fooled into thinking you've got to have it all figured out before you can move. But let me tell you, the greatest success stories started in the dark. No spotlight, no crowd, just faith in motion. Take a moment and really think about this. What if the thing holding you back isn't your lack of resources, but your lack of belief that what you have is enough? You think if you had more, you'd do more. But if you're not willing to act now, what makes you think you'll act later? Faith without works is dead, and action without excuses. That's where things start to shift. Some of y'all are waiting for the world to hand you something when life is saying, use what I already gave you. That's how real success is born. Not in comfort, not in certainty, but in movement despite the unknown. The ones who make it are not the ones who had the most. They're the ones who believe the most. You've got to move like you already have what you're dreaming about. You've got to speak like the opportunity is already here. You've got to walk like the door is already unlocked. Because faith is walking towards something you can't yet see, and trusting that when you get there, it'll be waiting for you. Don't buy the lie that you're behind. You're right on time. Don't fall into the trap of thinking your story has to look like anyone else's. That's their journey, not yours. What matters is that you show up with what you've got. That you don't let fear steal the future that's waiting on the other side of your first step. You don't need a miracle to begin. You just need a moment of boldness. That's how empires are born. That's how legacies are written. That's how lives are changed. So stop doubting your beginning. Start moving in faith, because that's all you really need. Let me break something down for you. Nothing happens until you move. That dream you've got, that vision you keep talking about, it's just a wish until you take action. You could have the best idea in the world, the deepest purpose, the most powerful calling. But if you never take the first step, you'll never feel the power that comes from momentum. People ask all the time, how do I build confidence? You don't wait for it. You earn it through movement. Action builds confidence. Sitting still builds doubt. You want to know why some people seem unstoppable? It's because they stopped waiting and started walking. Maybe they didn't have the clearest path. Maybe they didn't know where it would lead. But they took the step, and that one step led to another and another. That's momentum. But momentum doesn't come to the person sitting on the sidelines. It comes to the one who stands up, even when they're shaking. It comes to the one who says, I may not have it all, but I'm going to work with what I've got. The more you move, the more you see. The more you act, the more is revealed to you. But the process can't start without a decision. You keep waiting for the feeling of readiness. But here's the truth. You don't need to feel ready to move. You need to move to start feeling ready. That first step is always the hardest. But once you take it, the weight starts to lift. The fear starts to shrink. The fire starts to build. And that fire is momentum. You've got to trust the process. You've got to trust that forward is forward, even if it's slow, even if it's awkward, even if nobody's clapping for you yet. You're not building for applause. You're building for purpose. And that purpose needs motion. Think about a car. If it's sitting still, you can turn the wheel all day, but it's not going anywhere. But once it's rolling, even just a little bit, you can steer it, you can redirect it, you can pick up speed. That's how your dream works too. It can't go anywhere until you move it. So today, not tomorrow, not next month. Today, I want you to take one step, one call, one post, one idea, one action. Just move. And once you do, don't stop. Because the second you build momentum, you become dangerous to fear, to doubt, to every excuse that's tried to hold you back. The first step isn't everything, but it's the one thing that makes everything else possible. Everybody wants more. More money, more opportunities, more followers, more recognition. But the question ain't whether you want it. The question is, can you handle it? See, we've got it backwards. We think when we get more, then we'll be disciplined, then we'll be focused, then we'll be consistent. But that's not how it works. Life gives more to the people who prove they can manage the little they already have. If you can't show up and give your best with 5 views on your video, what makes you think you'll be ready when 5 million show up? If you don't honor that small business idea when it's just you and your kitchen table, how do you expect to lead a team, handle clients, and juggle the pressure that comes with success? The truth is, the small stage is the training ground. That's where you build your habits. That's where you sharpen your character. That's where you learn how to show up, even when nobody's watching. If you treat your little assignment like it's beneath you, you'll never graduate to the big one. Because the blessing doesn't come to those who want more. It comes to those who can handle more. Let me put it to you like this. You're asking for a mansion, but you can't even keep your apartment clean. You're praying for millions, but you're careless with hundreds. You're dreaming of leading people, but you won't even lead yourself. That's not a resource problem. That's a faithfulness problem. Greatness isn't found in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. when you decide to give 100% even when no one's clapping. It's when you post the video, write the book, serve the customer, create the product, and the world is silent, but you keep going anyway. That's what proves you're ready. What's in your hands right now might seem small. It might feel insignificant, but it's not. That little thing, that's your test. That's your moment. That's your seed. And if you water it, if you work it, if you treat it like it matters, it will multiply. Stop despising small beginnings. That's where everything starts. Honor what you have. Maximize what's in front of you. Be faithful with the little, and the big will find you when you're ready. Listen, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop talking yourself out of your own breakthrough. You've got enough right now to take the first step. You've got enough to make a start, to build momentum, to open doors you didn't even know were possible. Don't let doubt convince you that small means insignificant. Don't let comparison rob you of your confidence. What's already in your hands? Your story, your voice, your gift, your experience. It's not just enough, it's exactly what was meant to start the journey. If you keep showing up, if you stay faithful with what's in front of you, you'll see the rest show up when it's supposed to. You don't have to chase greatness. You just have to honor your now, and greatness will chase you. You are not lacking. You are not behind. You are not empty. You are equipped. You are ready. And what you already have is more than enough.